can't, as a keys player, you can't play what the guitar player is supposed to play. See that? How subtle it is, but it just does something in that moment. It just does something. It explodes. I don't think aux gets enough love on records. There is an art to aux. If he was doing all of that bound, you know how we do when we playing in church. We trying to play full. Keys were played by my guy Josh Isaac. It wasn't too much going on. He did keys, he did organ, and he did aux. So we're gonna try to talk about these in one swoop. And I really want to highlight and show some of the aux work that he did, because Josh knows how to play aux, and that's one of the reasons why I let him, got him to do aux on this record, because he knows how to do aux and how to play like an aux player. So he's got the keys, the piano, and he knows how to play keys. Look at that. I want to highlight something about this. So check that out. Now, how clean that is. Now, in the record itself, you got this going on. You notice he's not playing the downs. He's not going bomb, 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 bomb. Why? Because everybody's doing that line. You know what I mean? You give it some space to breathe. And he took his spots and took his moments, you know what I mean? And really made those lines count. He made every chord count. He knew what his part was to play. And then even in the verse, notice how he's playing whole notes. He's playing whole notes. He's not he's not like stylistic. He's playing the record. And that's a difference from playing the record like a record and playing it like you're in church. It's a big difference when you play those records like that. So I love that, because he knows, because he played the piano on this record before we had vocals on it, before we had any other guitars or anything in there. So it's leaving space for the record to breathe, because what's going on in this section? Let's listen musically. So we got acoustics in this spot. We got strings. And we got other aux instruments. So you gotta be basic in a song like this. You can't just run it all over. You gotta leave space. You can't, as a keys player, you can't play what the guitar player is supposed to play. You know what I mean? If he was doing all of that bound, you know how we do when we playing in church. We trying to play full. I play full, doc. Nah, he played the record like it needed to be played. Organ's the same way. It's very tasteful. If we bring organ in here. And this is real organ. This isn't like a. So here's something that's hilarious. Not hilarious, but made the record. You're right. Y'all hear that little slide? That, to me, are moments that make records for organ. Check this. See that? How subtle it is, but it just does something in that moment. It just does something. It explodes. So you got all of these elements coming together to really blend it. But the organ also shows up in a lot of other places where it's really important. So remember the part here in the hymn. Let's see where we are. Right here. So this part right here is just organ and keys. Then everybody comes in. So it's just very tasteful, very tasteful. And then the organ comes in again and puts some really sweet stuff right in this moment. I think it's right in here when she's coming in here. And that highlights the aux as well. So you see how he's that little sine lead, not the sine, but the sine glide there. I mean, it's just a masterpiece. So speaking of aux, these aux tracks are like laced. So I don't think aux gets enough love on records. There is an art to aux. You have to do it well. And Josh is one that does it well. So I want to highlight a lot of his aux because you won't hear this as the record is going. You hear it in spots, and I brought it up in spots, but you really don't get to appreciate it. So let's bring, I think I solo this bus, sorry. Let's get the strings out of there too. I want to mute the strings for right now. Look at that. So of course you got the pads, but there's some stuff that it's doing that really makes some noise. Like this art right here. So you want to know how to play aux? This is how you play aux, Doc. Aux is more than just J-pop bells and Profi brass analog pad. It's like the kooky stuff. See how he builds a soundscape? Sounds you wouldn't even expect to be in there. Woo! See what I'm saying? That's how you do aux. But if you don't have it in the record, you're going to miss it. So if I take that whole section, take the aux out. See how dry that sounds? Bring the aux in. I mean, you got to appreciate it because aux players get the stuff in the records that adds the girth to a record that never really gets on the forefront. Then I cut aux completely for this section, I think. It doesn't really do much. I think that line is in there, and then it comes back in when we're coming out of the vamp. I mean, out of the... So if you're going to do aux, you got to stack it. I mean, he's got stuff in here that's just like... And you notice he's playing whole notes. Woo. It's building a soundscape. It's building a bed that everything else in the record is laying on top of. Man, it's so fire. Then we get to the big part. Check out what happens here. So you know what I appreciate? I mean, it's a lot of dope stuff going on in there. But what I appreciate the most in this section is this one little line right here that people probably forget about. It's this little one right here. Let's see if we can get it to play. It's that little pulsating one. It just adds so much momentum to this whole section. So let's bring it in. It's so subtle, but it's adding so much movement and life to this one section. Right, you don't notice it. You blink and you miss it, right? But if I take it out, you're gonna know it's gone. That's the thing about Aux. Like, it may not be forefront, you may not appreciate it, but if you take out just one piece of it, it's like playing a game of Jenga. You pull out the wrong piece, the whole thing falls apart. I'll bring it back. Woo! So Aux is just adding so much life to the record. See that? That one line right there brings so much life to the record. See that? So that is Aux. Aux made up a big part of this record. I mean, I think Aux is probably from 63 to 78. Do the math of how many tracks that is. My brain, it's been a long day. I don't have time to kind of do that math, but if you can do that math real quick in your head, that's how many Aux tracks is in this song. Listen, I appreciate you for making it to the end of this clip. This is a clip from our live Mix Monday show that we do live here on the channel, so make sure you subscribe with those bell notifications turned on so you don't miss a literal beat when we drop these. And if you're interested in seeing the full length of these and a lot of other cool stuff, make sure you check us out at Gospel Producers Plus, which the link is down below. Otherwise, I'll see you guys a little bit later. Peace.